name of the volcano is Chaparrastique. Well, we're going to the name in English is Salvador American Cultural Center. It's the binational center of the embassy, but in San Miguel, which is the second largest city of El Salvador. There we have this program called English Access, and we are going to do the screening for these kids and also for kids of Superate. It's very nice, and your talk will be in English, so they can practice their English. I think they will be a tiny bit more shy than the other groups, just because they have to speak in English and they have to be brave to do that. So I brought these to give them as a gift. I'll say, if you make a question, you will have one of these. I don't know if it's super interesting for them, but they will learn something.
I think The Invisible War just got nominated for an Oscar.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. So, and oh look, they have McDonald's in San Miguel. Oh no.
Of course, it's the second largest city.
And how far are we from San Salvador?
In kilometers, I don't know.
In hours?
In hours, 3 hours away.
Okay, gracias. Welcome, students. Well.
Oh, you're a kid, so.
Security. Hi.
This is Carlos.
Nice Welcome to meet you, Carlos. Good to meet you.
And they are the directors, sub-directors, and everybody else
Hi.
from
Ladies,
here.
hi. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Buenas, chicas.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Thank you for waiting for us. I hope it gave you time to prepare the questions for Alex Rotaru. As your teachers may have told you, he is an American/Romanian director. He is the director of the movie you are going to see. Thank you. And right after that, we will have a conversation with him in which we will be able to make questions about the movie or about documentary production or anything else. This is an event that we're doing with the Centro Cultural and with the American Embassy and with a program of the Department of State of the United States called American Film Showcase. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to prepare the movie, and thank you again for having us.
Thank you. Don't applaud. Don't applaud. Everyone who applauded needs to ask a question. It is warm here, full of palm trees, and very, very warm. Very warm. Hello there. There's more of you now. Oh, okay. Multiply. Okay, so, questions? Yes?
How many documentaries do you have?
How many documentaries did I make? No, I don't make. Not me. I have directed 3 bigger documentaries, and I have shot or produced or edited maybe 10 others.
Similar to this?
In some ways, yeah. How did I feel when I was recording the documentary? In every way. I experienced everything, you know, from joy to despair to hope to lack of hope, everything. This takes years, so you feel through the years, you feel everything.
How long did you take for recording?
To shoot the documentary took about 6 months, 4 to 6 months, and editing took 2 years. I'm working. I just finished making my first fiction film. Just finished shooting it just a week ago, and I have a documentary lined up in March. What was my most successful production? I think this one. Do I prefer to work with famous people? No. I prefer to work with kids. Yeah. What? Did I have financial support? Yes, but not as much as I'd like to. Is it difficult to do a documentary? Yeah, yeah, it's difficult to make a documentary because financial support and because it takes a very long time. You know, a fiction movie can take a few months to make. A documentary can take 6 years. I looked at the only one person who didn't have a question. So what's your question? You, yeah, you're the only person that didn't have their hand up. So I'm like, okay, you. Behind the camera or in front of the camera? Behind. She asked how many people participated in making of this documentary behind the camera. A lot. In the big final day, with all we had 24 crews. Each crew consisted of a camera and a sound person. That's 48 people right there, probably about 100, 150 total. But like, really seriously involved all the time, about 10. I don't have a problem if I had 600 problems. Yes.
How do you feel knowing that many people
How do I feel knowing that many people watched the documentary? Ugh. That's why I made the goddamn thing. Sorry. Behind you, yes.
why the young people make the word of Shakespeare?
Because language is power. She asked, why do the young people are interested in, why are they interested in the words of Shakespeare? Because he's, dead and whatever, who cares? Because language is power, and very complicated language, by the nature of it, forces you actually to learn a lot more than the words. Because every time you learn something, you actually have to go to the dictionary, you have to go to the encyclopedia, you have to go to the internet, you have to ask your teacher. So actually learning language is much more than just learning language. And the end result is, even if you don't win in a festival like this, when you're in a room with 100 people looking for a job, looking for an interview, looking for a scholarship, looking for any kind of advancement in life, the first thing, other than the way you're dressed and the way you look, the first thing and the most important thing is how you speak. If you speak like somebody who really knows a language, you're going to stand out from a group of 1,000 people. It doesn't matter what you look like, or your gender, or race, or whatever. Oh, this person's educated. So language really is powerful. That's why. Yes.
What makes you want to share?
What makes me want to what? To share it. Well, I suppose there are some artists who just want to, sing in the bathroom, and that's okay. But most artists want the world to see what they do. So, also, this kind of documentary specifically is intended for young people all over the world. So it's specifically made to be seen by people exactly like you. Where did I film it? It was filmed in entirety in Los Angeles and in, oh my God, the valley. San Fernando Valley. There's Mulholland Drive, and south of Mulholland Drive is Los Angeles. North of Mulholland Drive, that's a bad angle for me, by the way. North of Mulholland Drive is the valley. So it's all in an area, very small area, a couple of 100 square miles, not big. All these high schools are kind of in the same neighborhood. You can drive maybe between the farthest two, maybe it's a 4-hour drive, not that much. Yes?
How long did you study for making movies?
How long did I study? All my life. Study? Oh, you never stop studying. Behind you.
What do you need to get involved in the film world?
What do you need to get involvement in the film world? Well, let's see. An idea, money, connections. But an idea and hard work will get you somewhere. At least it'll get you connections. Maybe it'll get you money, and then you'll have more next time. And then you'll have more next time. And then you'll have more next time. The trick is you can even get connections when you made a movie that's not that good. Because if people see where you went wrong and they like you personally, they may say, okay, we'll give you a chance on the next film, but we'll give you a producer to watch over you and make sure you don't make the same mistakes. If you have a good attitude and you work hard, chances are you can advance more than, say, if you have a bad attitude and maybe you have more talent. Although Hollywood also rewards people with bad attitudes and a lot of talent. So it's kind of, yes?
Do you consider this film as the most important of your cinema career?
My very short cinema career right now, because I feel that my best work is ahead of me. But I would say that there's this movie and there's another movie I made called They Came to Play, which is kind of the opposite thing. The power of art in the lives of older people, retired people, and so on. I would say between those two is the most important.
What was the team vision?
What?
What was the team vision?
What was the idea? The idea. What was the message? What was the idea behind it? Well, or are you asking me why I wanted to make this movie? You're asking me why I wanted to make this movie, right? Yes or no? I went to a competition. I went to the competition as a judge, and I was extremely touched when I saw these kids having so much fun. Because in America, usually kids have this much fun only at a basketball tournament, So it was extraordinary for me to see, and especially in the valley, in San Fernando Valley, usually you think of the valley as a place for sports, for fun, for smoking pot, or surfing. You don't think of the valley as like a place of very high academic standards, and actually it's the highest academic standard in the world for theater. So I thought the world needed to know this, and I also thought that the emotion that I got from being in that room with all those 2,000 kids was so amazing that if I could give a little bit of that emotion back to an audience, it would really be effective. Because I believe that when you make documentaries, you have a choice. You can either deal with facts and figures and numbers and statistics and have more of a journalistic approach and say, hey, this is the situation. I don't like to make that kind of work. It's not best for me, for my temper. I like to be engaging. I like to see people who are interesting. I like to see people who are funny. I like to see people who make you cry. Stories touch you. So I felt that the message of the movie could be best translated if I make an audience involved emotionally. And because theater, by its essence, is exactly that. The difference between theater and a speech, a regular, speech from an academic, for instance, is that the speech from an academic will give you the facts and will be very precise. Theater can give you some of the facts, not all, but it will give you emotion. And the emotion that will then charge you and motivate you to go and find other facts and research more. So by planting the emotion, I can then push you to go forward yourself and do some of the work. So I felt it was a perfect opportunity to do that. I hope it succeeded. I guess we'll see in years. Yes?
You study science, why? What did you make the film?
She's asking me if I studied science, why did I go into filmmaking? You sound like my mother. Hey, you can eat, let's say, what's that called? You can say, you can eat sopa de papas, okay? But if you really like gallo and chicha, then at some point, after eating sopa de papas for a month, you're gonna go and secretly have some gallo and chicha. Okay, that was my situation. I always liked cinema better than physics. But I think that's why documentary is somewhat a good thing for me, because there is always a scientific little thing. With documentary, you're always asking the questions for yourself, like an anthropologist. So there is a little bit of science in making documentaries. It's a social science, not art science.
Like San Miguel.
And I like San Miguel. It's bloody hot. I think it's so hot that my sweat is sweating. It's beautiful though, and you know, I don't understand one thing. I mean, I love the climate, I love the food, I love the people, but did you have to build 2 of your major cities on volcanoes?
What lands were you Carter?
Pardon?
Carter.
What am I working career right now? Is that the question? Well, I just finished shooting a fiction film, like a horror film, kind of like Vero Project. This is, I think, Vero, see? And it was very hard. I shot it, you know, my mother was in it, my child was in it, my wife was in it, I was in it. It's like a family film, except the horror family film. And I'm working to edit that and to hopefully launch it at the festival and sell it and see if it goes in theaters. And I'm doing a documentary very similar to this one in March about kids who write Broadway musicals. So those are the 2 immediate plans of my career. I also have just found out that my another movie I made was picked up by the State Department like this one. So that means that over the next 18 months I will continue traveling the world. And I'm very excited about that because there's nothing I enjoy. Well, other than being on a set and directing, the second most well-known. Other than being on the set and directing or being on a remote beach without a phone, the third most enjoyable thing for me is to meet the kids from all over the world and show them. So I'm enjoying that. Louder.
When do you start liking the Shakespeare?
When did I start liking?
Shakespeare.
Oh, Shakespeare. Oh, geez. Well, my mother's an actress, and she was 8 months pregnant, 8.5 months pregnant with me on stage playing Shakespeare. So I guess I started liking Shakespeare very early. The first book I ever read was a reduction, you know, like an adaptation in prose for kids of A Midsummer Night's Dream, as a matter of fact. And I know this because my mom tells me the story that I came after reading the book, I came up to her and I said, Mom, this is the best book I ever read. Which was funny because it was the first book I read. I didn't actually hear or experience Shakespeare in English until I was 21. And then I started studying and catching up because I experienced Shakespeare in Romania. And then when I was 21, some amazing, an amazing British troupe called the National Shakespeare Company came to Romania to do King Lear and Richard III, 2 of the most difficult Shakespeare plays. And it was Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen, you know, hands off the break, "Thou shalt not pass" from Lord of the Rings, that guy. And Brian Cox, and a Nigerian British actor called Akeem K. Kazim, who were some of the most important actors. And funny enough, I got to meet and work with them later, but that was the first time that I saw Shakespeare on stage in English. And I later got to work with all these people, and Hakeem and I are very good friends today. So it's a very important part of my life. And I also find, obviously, I wouldn't preach this if I didn't believe it, language is extreme power. And, you know, you can pretty much, even in a selfish way, at any party, you can quote 5 lines of Shakespeare. You know, you can have a Nobel Prize winning scientist in the room and you're going to have the beautiful girl's talk to you instead. Yes. See, like I said. Of all my films, what's my favorite? It's like, do you have sisters and brothers? Yeah? Ask your mother who's her favorite child. She'll slap you. Don't ask her, don't make her that. I don't know. Stop there. No. Yeah. What? You too.
Was someone who motivated you to follow your dreams?
Follow my what? Again, louder.
Was someone who motivated you to follow your dreams?
Was someone there for me? Is that what you're asking? When I follow my dreams? Rephrase the question.
was someone who motivated you to follow
Oh,
your
got
dreams?
it, got it. Motivated. Yeah, teachers. Yeah, well, my parents, first of all, despite the fact that they were dreaming of me becoming a professor of physics at Harvard, and I was this close from doing that, and then I said, no, I'm going to film school. But, you know, my father was a writer, my mom was an actress, so of course they motivated me. They gave me a very early start in theater and in film, and the way, let's say, you know, if your father makes wine, then by the time you're 15, you'll know everything about how to make wine, because you will know, because you'll be in the house and you'll be around the business and you'll know. Well, my mom is an actor, my father was a playwright, so by the time I was 15, I knew a lot about how to make movies and what theater was all about. And so when I finally decided to pursue a career in that, I had a lot of motivation because I had a lot of information. And then I had some amazing professors along the way who saw me and encouraged me and allowed me to go forward, even when the situation was really bad. Because when I graduated with a Master's of Fine Arts from USC, I saw a lot of my friends after a year or two dropping out of the business because it's very difficult. And you have, on average, to work about 11 years to even make your first film. To work as an assistant or to work as something else, an editor or anything. And so a lot of people were getting married, were having kids, you know, that means we were late 20s. So, and they were like, crap, how am I going to support the family? You know, I need to do something. I can't be pursuing my dream anymore. So then they would get a job, and then they would, you know, not be able to pursue the dream anymore. Well, it's important when you go through moments like that to have role models, mentors. It's extremely important also to turn your phone on. Almost as important as having mentors. But having mentors is more important. And the advantage of living in LA is that almost everyone who can be your mentor in film lives in LA. So you can actually meet those people. And people are people, no matter if they have 3 Oscars, 4 Oscars. I have had several mentors who have 3 or 4 gold statuettes who helped me through the years. Even as much as a phone call, how's it going? You know, you get a phone call and you think, crap, this person has 4 Academy Awards and they think I should stick in this business. So yeah, the list is fairly long, and when I get my own Oscar, I'll probably have to recite it, but not mine. So yes. Yes. Wow!
What do you like most about eating?
Have you guys not eaten? Are you hungry? Speak! What do I like most about film? That's kind of like up there with what's your favorite film? I'll tell you what I don't like about film. I don't like watching a movie and knowing what's going to happen. That's easier for me. I cut somebody off before you. Yes. How many Hollywood stars have I met? A lot. The question is not how many Hollywood stars do I know? The question is how many Hollywood stars know me? And that's not that big of a number. You know, it's not who you know. You know everybody. It's who knows you. But yeah, I've interviewed Sharon Stone, and I've met Charlize Theron, and Jamie Foxx, and Tim Robbins. Did I meet Tom Cruise? I don't think I met Tom Cruise. But Bradley Cooper, Zoe Saldana. Why so many people that had bad habits? Oh, you mean in the movie here? Oh, I wasn't selecting people who have bad habits. I was selecting people who were doing shit. The advantage of the people who have bad habits is almost like a scientific question. Can someone who is one step away from jail, one step away from juvenile detention or worse, can they fix their life? Can they improve their life so quickly, so much? That was my interest. And I got the answer, yes. I was lucky. If the answer was not yes, probably the movie wouldn't be as successful as it was, because it would give less hope. And this is the beauty of documentary. You don't know. You take a chance. You roll the dice. You shoot. You know, I'm going to assume that this person, despite the fact that on the social scale they're here, one step and they drop off, they can get over here very quickly. Let's see if it happens. And it did happen. But I didn't pick them because of their bad habits. I picked them despite it. The central idea is what I just told him. It's a question that I have, a thesis that I have, that through theater you can, at least for a moment, level the playing field, make things equal for people who come from totally diverse positions on the social scale and economic scale more importantly. Because social has become economic. In LA at least, it doesn't matter anything about you. If you have money, you're in a different class than the people who don't. It's not about education or anything. It's unfortunate, but it is the way it is. And I wanted to see if this kind of education could level the playing field and take economics out of the discussion. And I think it did prove that.
Did you have a problem with the actors?
Did I have a problem with the actors? Oh, actors. Yeah, of course I had a problem. Yeah. But I had a bigger problem with the adult actors than with the kids, and I'm not going to go into it. Yeah. He asked me a very question, how many hours did I shoot? We had about 450 hours. So it took almost 2 years to make. Am I enjoying my trip here in Salvador? What am I supposed to say? Of course I'm enjoying it. This has been hot. Why did I decide to work with the story? Like I said, I went to this event a year before we filmed it as a judge, and I was blown away. And I felt if I can feel this way, maybe I can make others feel this way by showing it. So then we worked for almost a year to get permission, to get the rights. So we got the rights, and then in a year we started.
What kind of problem did you face and still?
What kind of problems? Every kind of problem. We faced every kind of problem. From losing members of the crew, to getting hired to well-paid jobs, to not having enough money to continue, to not being sure which direction to go because we had shot so much, and now at times you gotta let, when you shoot so much, you gotta let some time go by. You gotta watch it, and go do something else for a couple of weeks. And let your brain kind of start working out through how this whole thing will fit together like a puzzle. So yeah, you go through all sorts of problems. Every kind of problem, every kind of feeling. You don't have only one problem or one feeling for making it. Yes?
Good afternoon. Do you believe that...
Yes.
Do you believe that represent the moral of Shakespeare is dishonor for him?
Do I believe that what?
Do you believe that it's a dishonor for Shakespeare that represent his moral?
If this movie represents Shakespeare? Yeah, I believe this movie, absolutely. I believe that the best thing about a theme, a tema, is that it's represented at the smallest level in a scene and at the biggest level in the movie. And Shakespeare is all about the big themes, right? So you got love. Well, you got love in the movie, not only on stage, but also happening. It's about envy. You definitely have envy. It's about power. All the major themes of Shakespeare are represented in this movie because if you take a group of young people and put them together, all of those major themes are going to be represented, whether you want it or not. So yeah, I do believe that there's a reflection between Shakespeare's ideas and the movie, but that's not by my merit, it's Shakespeare's merit, because his themes are universal. So they work here today as well as they worked there then. Yes.
Why did you decide to produce this documentary?
Why did I decide to release this documentary? How can I say this differently a third time? Because one morning I woke up with this idea and I couldn't let go of it. Because I think it would make a good movie. I thought it would make a good movie. Ah! Finally! Front row! Somebody! Which ones? The boy, the children, or the actors, the big actors? The actors. She asked me what was my experience with the stars that we worked with in the movie. It was good overall, but it's tough to work with stars because they don't like to be directed. They don't like to be told anything. They know everything. They want to tell you. You know, so when you're a director and you want a specific thing, you're after something specific, sometimes it's very difficult to get that specific something from the star. The star is going to give you whatever the star is going to give you, you know, because they're at the point in their career, they don't take anything from anyone. They're going to come and they're going to tell you something they want to tell you, and you're going to see if you can use it or not. With kids, it's a little easier because you can have a conversation and they can listen to you. Big stars, not always that easy, but I think I was lucky. We had a good experience. First of all, make sure I see your mouth. Go ahead.
What roles do the teacher play in the life of the student?
What role does the teacher play in the life of the student? Well, these teachers play a gigantic role in the life of the student. I think you've seen, right? You've seen how important. Quiet! You've seen how influential these teachers are in the lives of their students. I mean, some of them are like second parents. They take them home. They feed them lunch. They keep them off the street. Very influential. And I think that in my life as well, I can point a couple of professors and teachers through my entire life who really guided me in the direction that I needed to be guided. And once you recognize a good teacher in your life, count your blessings. It's a big deal. Big deal. Yeah. Plays or all theaters? You mean like what's a good theater house or an author? Author. Well, obviously I like Shakespeare, but I also like a lot existentialist and absurd and cruelty French theater. So a lot of the French theater written between 1900, let's say, 1895 and 1950. A lot of authors from that time, from like Edmond Rostand, Jean Anouilh, Jean Genet, Jean Cocteau, a lot of Jean, but he's French. Eugène Ionesco, Samuel Beckett, Antonin Artaud, all these French early 20th century playwrights. I love those guys. I love all the British playwrights of the 16th century, 15th, 16th century, and 17th century, up to Edwardian theater. Obviously, I like Shakespeare. I like Christopher Marlowe. I like Ben Jonson, Molière, and a lot of modern theater too. But I would say that Shakespeare and Sartre, Camus, Ionesco, Beckett. So the British, and then I like the French early 20th century existentialist, absurd theater people, and I like very much modern American Broadway. Anything Broadway. Yeah. Loud.
When you were a child, did you win something amazing?
Did I do what?
Did you win something?
Did I win something? Yeah, I won anything. I won an acting award when I was 16, 17. I mean, big acting award, which got my head this big. And it wasn't good, but I enjoyed it. Yes?
Which do you consider the best thing of your life?
The best thing of my life, my child. 5 months old. And I'm only saying this because I'm recorded. No, of course not. My wife will see this, but it doesn't matter. Yes, another question. So,
For you, how the art of development
I heard development in people. What?
Yes. How the art for you?
Yeah.
How the art of development
Oh, how does the art help development of people? Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Jesus, I mean, hundreds of books have been written about this question. There's anthropologists theorize that making art is what separates the human race from every other species of animals. You know, okay, there are some birds who make very beautiful nests to attract mates, right? There are some carnivorous animals who kill and they display their prey to get a mate. So there are in the animal kingdom, there are situations where animals do something that has aesthetic value, but they usually do it only to get laid. You know what that means? Yeah. They only do it to attract a mate. Well, humans make art, except for the occasional person who does it exactly for that reason. But generally, the human need to make art is to express something that words cannot express. To begin with, words are already one separation from the animal kingdom, articulated speech. And then art is on top of that. Once you fail to express with regular words what you feel, you start doing it with using words differently, which is called poetry, or telling stories, or painting images, or making sounds that form some sort of coherent, harmonious melody. I would say that art is at the very question, at the very heart of what it means to be human. It's the very middle. Yes? Why did I decide to make the film called Shakespeare High? First of all, most of my titles, all of my titles have two meanings. I like to have the double entendre, two meanings. And critics of the title, friends of mine, were like, well, why did you call it Shakespeare High? Because it's not one high school. You know, it's 75 high schools. Why did you call it Shakespeare High? Well, in my mind, there's two things. One is all of these kids from all of these high schools are together in mind and soul in one single club, if you want to call it. And since they're in high school, I called it Shakespeare High. Two, in American English, when you add the word high to something, it implies that you are high on that thing, that you're excited by that thing. So I could say, I'm right now on an El Salvador high. Okay? That means that I'm excited to be here. So the Shakespeare High, one means a high school called Shakespeare. Two, it means being very excited by Shakespeare. So that's one. Yes? Here? Pardon me. What other opportunities do I believe should be offered to me? Rephrase the question. Okay, I get that. To you, me, to everybody. I don't know. It's too general of a question. We could be here for 2 hours. What other opportunities that could be offered that are not offered? Free pupusas for everybody? That's an opportunity that's not offered. That would be good, right? I don't know. I mean, this thing with this particular kind of theater, this is easy to do. You know, you take these 4 chairs, you put them up here, and let's go. Let's get a piece of paper with the text. Let's have 3 pages of Shakespeare in the scenes, and let's start working it. And you'll see immediately. You look at the text and go, what language is this? And then you take out the dictionary and you start. You're like, okay, after 2 days, you've understood 1 page. but you've actually learned a hell of a lot, you know, in trying to decipher only one page. And then after you've learned it all, you look at it and then you discover the poetry. Because then you're able to say it out loud without thinking about what it means, because you already know what it means. So you're thinking only about the emotion behind it. So I would think that the opportunity to study is a good one. The opportunity to have, and I don't want to sound like I'm old-fashioned, because I think it's amazing to be connected. I think it's extraordinary to be connected. I think it's extraordinary that we all have, where's my friggin' iPhone? This time I teach you iPhone. It's great to always be on the internet, and it's great that somebody from here, you can be talking to someone in Japan, and to someone in Canada, and to someone in Switzerland at the same time. Maybe collaborating, maybe you're going to write a multimedia piece together about how it is to be 14 and in school. Whatever it is, it's amazing. At the same time, it's a huge waste of time. You know? You spend time with a really good book, and you usually have to have a dictionary and an encyclopedia next to it as well, because that's what will happen. At least that's what happened to me. That time is gonna be maximized, because you have to give yourself the opportunity to take that time. How much, I mean, I look at my own self. The majority of time that I'm looking online, I would like to think that I'm reading the New York Times or the New Yorker or studying something on Wikipedia or on Encyclopedia Britannica. The reality is, most of my time is spent looking at pictures of cats put up on Facebook by my friends. You know, or something like that, something really stupid. Looking through Facebook at personal opinions of all of my friends, which is not the same kind of time that you can do with a great book. That's an opportunity I would encourage everybody to take. Okay. What role, very good question. What role does team and community, right, play in this documentary? Everything. It's all about community, because, well, the school that wins, those kids, that's called Partnership to Uplift Community. That is a charter school. What that means is that everyone at that school is a parent. Okay? That means that a charter school is when a group of people who live in the same community decides we don't want a public school. We want to have more influence in the way our school is run. So then they put together a proposal. They go to the state, to the local government, whether the mayor's office or sometimes at the state level, sometimes at the federal level, and they petition for charter status. And what that means is that everyone who works in the school, from the administrator to the janitor, sometimes some of the teachers, but usually the teachers get hired from outside because it's easier, are parents. Okay? So everyone who works, the parents in the community work at the school, volunteer at the school, because they want to have more hands-on control of how their kids are educated. They want to be closer. You know, maybe the kids don't like it so much because all of a sudden the parents are around, but it is a community thing. So obviously, if there is no community support for something like this, and in each community it's a little bit different. With LACSA, the very high-level drama school, the parents have encouraged and trained those kids since they were 6, 7 years old to go to study art, to study theater, to sing, to dance. So they may not have a physical community, because those kids may come from all over LA, but they have a spiritual community. They all think the same. Whereas in other schools, it's a physical community. They all live in the same area, and they all want their kids to do well. So it's huge. Yes.
What kind of awards
What kind of awards? Well, it won 2 or 3 audience awards, best documentary awards at various festivals. But most importantly, the most important award for me was this one. Was being chosen by the State Department in one of, I think, 18 or 19 films out of several hundreds to represent American values. That was the biggest one for me. could also want two other awards that are not really awards, but are more important than awards. One, it was in movie theaters in the States, which is again very rare. And two, it was on Showtime in the States, which is a very good cable network. So it got to be seen by a lot of people. Those are more important to me than awards. Did I exhaust you yet, or what? Come on, I only have one cup of coffee. Imagine if I had three. Do I like traveling? No, I hate traveling. It's horrible. I love traveling. I love traveling. I was born traveling. Yes?
Good afternoon. I want to know if you could change something in your life, what would you change?
If I were to change something in my life, what would I change? My metabolism and the rate at which my hair falls. Anything else, I would be a hypocrite. I would be a hypocrite if I said, no, I'm happy, I'm good. I've done more things in this lifetime than many other three people put together at the end of their life. So I'm very lucky, and because of the documentary work, I get to travel a lot, to meet a lot of people. I have a very lucky family life. I'm very happy that way, and I look forward to, God willing, to my best years ahead of me. So, I used to have long flowing hair when I was 19. I used to be a hair model. People, I'm not kidding. People would stop me in the street because my house, between my house and my high school, there was the art school, the art, painting college, the art Beaux-Arts Academy. And I used to be stopped all the time to have students draw my portrait because of my hair. So would I like my long flowing rocker, what's his name? Guns N' Roses. Axl. I had hair like Axl Rose when I was 18. So I would like that hair back, but it's not happening. Because I don't have, I don't want to do that much surgery on myself. So, although, go ahead. Do I like Guns N' Roses? Yeah, I mean, I partied a few times with Slash. I don't think Axl's attitude is that great, but yeah, they're a great band. They don't really exist anymore. I prefer Pearl Jam. Any better? I'll take Any Better over Axl. That's my choice. And I might take Billy Corgan over both of them. Smashing Pumpkins. Yep. Good. That's it? Only 67 questions? Yeah?
Which teacher is the best approach?
Oh, geez. That's a tough question. He's asking me what teacher do I think has the best approach. Well, you know what? You can't take the same approach with everybody. So I think all of these teachers have the perfect approach for their students. Because with somebody like Tosh, you have to be really tough and hold them accountable. But if you do that with the Catholic girls from Notre Dame Academy, they're going to start crying. You can't be that tough with them. If you do the same thing with the kids from Loxa, they're going to walk out of the room. They're entitled. They're not arrogant, but they have had an early sense of self-worth. So if you abuse them, they'll walk out. Okay, so with each kind of student, with each kind of person, you have to have a different approach. There is no single approach. The single approach is called the Army. But high school is not the Army. And even in the Army, some people can't make it. Whereas with high school, your idea as a professor is to help all the students make it. So then you take different approaches with different students. I think that I would say maybe that I like the way Lou Cardenas and Sarah Rosenberg approach their students, but what they do is not easily generalized, because their approach is so personal, is so intense, they become like second parents these days. They pick them off the street. If their parents, real parents, have kicked them out, they take them and put a bed in the living room and have them there. If you go to their house, there's always a couple of students who are spending the night there, which is kind of illegal almost. And anyway, it's not a general rule. But these teachers are extraordinary. They're not something you can, replicate. Say, there's a school to make teachers like these. So although I like their approach, I don't think that it's a widely enforceable professional approach, because they deal with extreme cases, so they take extreme approaches, and they have an extreme amount of commitment to their job to the point where they have no personal life. She is divorced, and he is gay, and they live together because their whole life is about these kids. Now, not every teacher, there's no school for teachers where you can create teachers like that. And the whole world doesn't need only teachers like that. You need all kinds of teachers. You need all the types of teachers you see in the movie are doing a best approach, because they have found the kind of school and the kind of students who would benefit from their approach. With some students, you've got to get personal. Other students need you to be distant and strong. Depends on every case. Record, 3 questions so far. The smallest one in the room. What's the difference between director and producer? A doctorate, yeah. Same thing, I already did the Gallo and Chicha versus the thing. I couldn't take the PhD anymore. I started the PhD, and I also started film school, the Master of Fine Arts, and after a year of almost having no sleep and everything, I had to make a decision. And originally, I only decided to postpone my doctorate, not to cancel, just to postpone it. But after I got my master's and I started working as a screenwriter, there was no way I was going to go back to study physics. I found myself. And I'm very grateful to physics. I still read, scientific journals. I still keep in touch with what's going on. But I don't need, that wasn't me. It was great. And a lot of directors and a lot of people do a degree. Sometimes they do 2 degrees in a direction. And then they end up doing something completely different. Look, for instance, perfect example, the ambassador, the American ambassador here in El Salvador, is a woman. She was born in Puerto Rico, right? Yes. She had 1 degree in political and social sciences. Then she had a master in theater. Then she has a degree in law. And she's an ambassador. That's 3, if not 4 changes. So 100 years ago, if you went to study to become an engineer, by the time you're 24, 25, you have your diploma in engineering, and then you're an engineer for life. It's not true anymore. People study many things because jobs are changing, because the way we live is changing. So you may find that by the end of finishing 1 course of study, not only you have changed, the world has changed. Maybe there's no place for that, what you just studied and the way you studied it. They say that 90% of the jobs that will exist, that will be created, that will be money-making jobs in 10 years from now, which is exactly around the time you will be out with a master's degree or something, ready to take on the world. 90% of those jobs don't even exist yet. Because the economy hasn't evolved, hasn't created, hasn't revealed. Just like right now, if you're an IT technician, you can make a lot of money. Because 10 years ago, nobody knew that IT technicians would be in such demand. So it may be that just as you finish 1 advanced degree from your university, you look around and you say, what kind of living can I make from this? Number 1. Number 2, what dreams do I have? And number 3, in order to make these 2 overlap, because happiness for me is to make these 2 things overlap. Making a living from something you like doing. Then you may realize, well, shit, I need to go study something else now for another 2 years or 4 years. So it's not a single direction anymore. And it's good because that means you get to study more. Yay! Yes?
What was the first project you worked on?
The first project I worked on who was as an actor. I was 5 years old, and I played a page, you know, a valet to a princess in a movie, and my mom played the princess. And it happened only because she had nobody to leave me with at home. So she took me with her to the set, and when the producer saw me, she said, great, we can make him play a valet. And I remember very well that day because of a very stupid situation where the costume for the valet was for a bigger boy, so it was kind of big down here. So the seamstress, the costume person, came, took it, flipped it up, and sewed it. Understand? Sewed it. So that it fits me. But when they did so, they didn't allow for any way for me to go to the bathroom. Understand? So the whole day, I was like this. And I'll never forget it. Because at the end of the day, they have to cut the damn thing to print on, and I ran to the bathroom. So that was the first project that was involved. Yes?
Do you think that all the schools will have to promote the theater?
Do I think that other schools should do this?
Do you think that all the schools will have to promote the theater?
We'll have to promote theater? We'll have to. Okay, let me get it perfectly. Do I think that other schools will have to promote theater? I don't think they'll have to promote theater. I think they should. They have to. Who's going to force them? I mean, there's one thing that's going on. This movie is now part of a larger educational initiative, and it's in the hands of Michelle Obama. And she's supposedly wants to use it to bring back arts education in schools in America. Art education used to be huge, as you see from what Kevin Spacey said. It used to be huge 40 years ago, 35 years ago. And then the budget went down, and now it's not nothing. So maybe it'll be used that way. If Michelle Obama comes up with this movie and 3 other movies and says, watch these, everybody in education, let's get this country back on track with arts education, then yeah, other schools would have to promote theater. But unless something like that happens, no, it's at their individual choice. And I don't see them choosing it without any pressure from above. Do I have a resolution for this year? Question, I didn't make a resolution. I just made one now, but it's secret. Yes?
What kind of prayers are in the country?
What kind of?
Prayers are in your country.
And they're in your country.
What kind of prayers?
Yeah, I know. Jade. In Romania or in America? My country is America, but I was born in Romania. I guess that's my country too. What kind of projects do I have or other people? Romania right now, there is a huge wave. Make sure you film them and me. Them and me. You know? When I finish speaking, you go to them. When where your finger is, there's a zoom too. You can also zoom. See?
I can.
Romanian film is right now enjoying a huge wave, positive wave. Several of my colleagues from high school, I left Romania right after high school, well, 2 years ago. I was in the middle of university and I transferred to MIT. But several of my colleagues from high school and other high schools, particularly in my high school, there's something strange that happened there, are enjoying a lot of popularity in Europe mostly. They've been winning the Cannes Film Festival regularly since 2005, 2006. So, but it's mostly reality-based drama, you know, very slow, very serious film. I like that, but I also like more fun stuff. Boom! Yeah? What? Uh-oh.
This is a present for you from English Accent Sunny. And we feel very happy. And thank you for sharing that message. And thank you for everything.
Thank you. can see it. Does that come from that bird? That's what that bird is a little pissed. It's like, ow. Like I sacrificed for this. So if I do this, does that make me shake my tail feather? Hey, you're too young to get that joke. Stop it with the internet. Go back to reading. That was only for the professor.
Can we have a group picture?
Group hug. Without me. Behind me. Come on, everybody. I gotta say, we're so well prepared. Hurry up, we're getting to know each other.
Okay. Can you, like, move a little closer?
Can you please occupy less space?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, cheese.
One more.
You don't look excited, like you look more tired than excited. There we go, smile.
Everybody, right hand in the air, V sign. Everybody, come on, everybody. Up,
Like
up,
this?
up, up.
Hold it,
Hold it.
hold it.
All right.
I think he wants, wait, he wants to take pictures too.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you.
Be well. Do well. Have well. Well. Thank God I'm going to have to get a new hand. Gracias. You want to ask?
Muy bueno, mira, en 2010, sí, es una entrevista que te vamos a hacer nosotros para la televisión.
Ok.
Pero vamos a hacer una oficina con él. Y en 2010 nosotros producimos Pan y Revolver.
Ok.
Y salimos los dos.
Ok. Alex Rotaru, ¿verdad?
Rotaru.
Presenta largometraje documental,
Sí.
el bachillerato Shakespeare. Me gustaría que me hable un poco acerca de la sinopsis de este documental.
El nacimiento. El primero
¿Qué es Bachillerato Shakespeare?
es una película sobre la capacidad, la realidad de mejorarse la vida para el teatro, especialmente para el teatro de Shakespeare, en Los Ángeles.
¿Cómo descubre usted la vocación por el cine?
Yo descubrí la vocación del cine para mi familia, que mi madre, mi mamá actor, actriz, y mi papá es dramaturgo. Eso, para mí, toda mi juventud fue pasada en estudios, en el teatro. Realizó que era mi destino de hacer el cine.
Hasta la fecha, ¿cuántos documentos producidos?
Documentales.
No era mi intención de hacer documentales. Se pasó algo orgánico. He visto interesado a los documentales para mis mentores en la escuela de cinema a la Universidad de Southern California y después. No he hecho exclusivamente los documentales, he hecho también películas de ficción.
Películas de ficción. ¿Ha participado en algunos festivales con sus películas o documentales?
Sí, muchos festivales. He ganado muchos premios, no los más grandes, no el Emmy o el Oscar, muchos premios internacionales.
¿Algunos de los que han sido más destacados que otros?
Si me gusta uno de mis documentales más que los otros, no es una cuestión que no puedo, una pregunta que no puedo responder, porque es como preguntar a una mamá si a ella gusta uno de sus hijos mejor que los otros, no se hace.
Bien. ¿Tiene previsto presentar este documental de hoy en algún otro medio de comunicación, con alguna otra instituciones?
Sí, presentamos deseo agradecer a la Embajada de Estados Unidos a San Salvador, de San Salvador, a Madame Señora Ambasador María Carmen Aponte para seleccionar mi película para el público grande salvadoreño. Con sus esfuerzos, mostramos esta película a San Salvador, a las universidades, a Santa Ana, aquí a San Miguel, en Soyapango, en Suchitoto, en Chalatenango, todos los lugares más importantes, creo, de El Salvador. Un gran honor.
Interesante. Es hijo de madre actriz y padre dramaturgo.
Sí.
¿Cómo nace en usted esa idea de dedicarse al cine y no digamos a la actuación o al drama como su padre o como su madre?
Creo que es una vocación muy similar. Yo todos los instintos profesionales del actor, del dramaturgo, son los reunidos a monavia, creo yo, en la profesión de productor, de revisor, de director de cocina.
También fue actor. ¿A los cuántos años
Sí,
usted ejerce su primer papel como actor?
Sí. Que fue mi primer... yo fui actor en Rumanía, jugó un pionero, un tipo de Boy Scout comunista con la ¿cómo se dice? Cravata, la roja. How do you say tie? Red tie. Non è bandera roja, è una... ¿cómo se dice? Corbata, cravata, roja. Ahora esos filmes son comedias, no se puede mirar.
¿Cuántos años lleva ya produciendo cine?
¿Cuántos años produce el cine?
¿Cuánto es el tiempo que lleva usted en el mundo del cine, produciendo cine?
Produciendo el cine solo 5 o 6 años. Dedicado al cine, he comenzado cuando era 5 años.
Dentro de sus documentales, ¿qué tema le gusta tratar más?
Sin duda, la tema favorita que tengo yo es la creatividad de jóvenes.
Si en algún momento se le presentara, digamos, la oportunidad de tocar el tema de las drogas, ¿lo llevará así?
Sí. Lo he ya tocado 10, 11 años antes, ma la película ha encontrato los obstáculos legales y non l'abbiamo finita. Ma sì, la droga è un problema muy real, muy concreto, muy grave.
A ver, ¿qué sabes del cine documental salvadoreño?
Poco conozco el nombre de Tomás Guevara, ¿cómo se llama?
Tomás Guevara.
Tomás Guevara. Conozco su nombre porque Verónica.
Él es un periodista salvadoreño, dedicado en Washington.
Sí, Verónica que trabaja a la embajada americana, en el departamento cultural. Es una amiga de Tomás Guevara, mucho me habló de Thomas y de sus filmes, pero no sé mucho.
¿Por qué escoge presentar ese documental Bachillerato de Shakespeare y no, digamos, otros documentales como Vinieron a jugar o Niños con cámaras?
Porque la comunidad cultural, la comunidad de la embajada, del departamento cultural de la embajada americana y con sus contactos aquí y acá en todo El Salvador, seleccionó eso. No fui yo que seleccionó de venir aquí, me gusta mucho El Salvador, y fue El Salvador que me invitó.
¿Primera vez?
Primera vez.
Sí.
Primera vez en Salvador y primera vez en San Miguel, obviamente.
Primera vez.
Escuché decirle hot. San Miguel,
Muy
sí.
caliente.
Sí.
Más caliente que a San Salvador, que a Suchitoto, todas los otros.
Hasta 42 grados centígrados en marzo.
¿Qué experiencia se llevaría de San Miguel y de El Salvador y de esta gente, por favor?
Me gusta mucho, me gusta la comida, me gusta el clima, me gusta la gente. Ma è stato qui, perdonami, disculpe para el italo-español, y fue aquí que 4 o 5 días, me gusta mucho.
Si tuvieras que hacer un documental en El Salvador, ¿qué tema tocaría? Aquí hay temas muy gruesos. Están las pandillas, política.
Yo no he visto los pandillas. Conozco los pandillas, entiendo el sábado de pandillas solo para las otras películas sin nombre, películas que yo he visto.
Los sin nombre muy buenas.
Muy bien películas.
Sí. Hay otra que se llama Los hijos de la guerra también.
Sí, ma creo que
Somos
sì, eran todas questi soggetti, questi temas, son temas mejor tratadas para los locales, para los artistas que conocen la realidad, conocen...
Ya tenemos periodistas muertos por un tema como ese. Pobre,
Sí.
un español, murió por desarrollar un documental de esa magnitud. O sea, no es un tema nada fácil.
No es un
Puesto
tema
que, mira,
fácil.
17 personas mueren a diario producto de la actividad criminal pandilleril. La gangs.
A México de más de 100 personas son muertos de periodistas.
Pero eso se mide en relación a por cada 1000 habitantes o por cada 100.000, por ejemplo.
Sí.
Entonces, El Salvador está considerado como el país más violento de América Latina. Y lo mantuvo Honduras un año. Ponemos al tanto de lo que sucede porque es una situación bastante caótica en nuestro país.
De verdad.
Siendo un país tan pequeño.
De verdad, soy consciente de esos factos.
Sí, son grupos de factos, sí.
No, son grupos. I know all this. Soy consciente de esos, de la situación. Personalmente, yo no he visto nada de todas estas fenómenos.
Hay que estar más tiempo para conocerlo.
Sí, con todos los documentales un problema de acceso, de visión de ver. Por eso que creo que periodistas documentales, productores, directores de documentales que no quieren permisión de filmar, de producir.
Hay bastantes obstáculos.
Eran en situación de guerra.
Sí.
Porque si tú vienes, prendes esa imagen sin permisión de un individual, de cualquiera que un agente normal, te diga no. Un pistolero no te diga, te echa. Claro.
Difícil.
No puedes hacer un gran riesgo de hacer un reto, de hacer un documental sin televisión.
Sí, es difícil.
Bastante la misión de un periodista de descubrir la verdad. Deben prender estos retos, estos grandes riesgos.
Exacto. Bueno, solo para despedirnos aquí en la cámara y quedamos platicando si tienes tiempo, ¿no? Y si no, pues nos despedimos. A ver, si quieres despedirte en la cámara acá con nosotros ya, mande un saludo al pueblo salvadoreño, al de San Miguel que te va a ver en la televisión.
Un gran saludo al pueblo salvadoreño, a la televisión migueleña, bien, la televisión migueleña. Me disculpe para mi español, italiano, romano, francés. Soy muy feliz de estar aquí con vosotros. Gracias.
Gracias.
I don't fucking I need to. Qué vergüenza.
No.
18 años a Los Ángeles no hablo español. Disculpe.
We call that todas las grasas esenciales, all the essential grease.
All the essential ingredients.